In this tutorial, we will go through our recommendations of ways you can use the long stitch to apply interesting textures to your needlepoint projects. A cool trick to add volume is to stitch with two strands of thread together. Start by cutting the thread twice the size you would normally cut it. Then, pass it through the eye of the needle and make sure the two parts are the same length. It's important to make sure they stay that way throughout the whole process. Normally, it's harder for the two threads to pass through the canvas hole, but there is no problem with that. You just have to force it a little and it will be fine. A very interesting way to create volume and texture at the same time is by using two strands but with different colors. The process is exactly the same, but this time you'll use two individual threads and pass them both through the needle's hole at the same time. It's normal for the two threads to wrap around each other, which can also provide a fun effect, but you can adjust it depending on what you prefer visually. For this particular blue sand design, we applied this technique in an area where there was a mix of two colors, so this was the perfect solution. You can add a raised effect in some of the stitches to add volume and texture at the same time. This is slightly different from the method of stitching with the two strands of threads. Instead, you will stitch some random stitches by passing them over the stitches that are already done. In the blue sand project, we applied this technique in an area that we stitched in an arc direction, instead of stitching it in a unique diagonal direction, as you can see in the video. Another interesting visual effect is to split the area like we did here. If you need to split the bigger areas into smaller ones, but you want to apply some pattern that will resemble the rest of the design, or the division shouldn't be a straight line for the end look to be more organic, then a good tip is to use a heat eraser pen to draw the splitting lines in the canvas. In the blocking process of your finished needlepoint piece, the pen marks will disappear, but most likely they will be completely hidden by the stitching anyways, so you don't have to worry about that. Another interesting direction that you can apply is a circular direction. We apply this technique in the sun area of our blue sand design. Basically, you pick a central hole or a couple of holes that will serve as the hole where you plunge the needle from the front to the back of the canvas while covering the entire circular area. This can also be interesting to apply in areas that are not circular.